Okay. So normal question answer kind of a session we will do. How you face interview question. So just raise your hand. One by one we will go. Those who are currently giving interviews or currently preparing, take an active participation. I will ask a question, you will give an answer. Then if you are giving correct, what was good, what was wrong, like that discussion we will do. Okay. So what are the basic fundamentals of Angular framework? How you will answer this? Priyanka?
Actually, Angular application is a single page application and it's a complete framework. It gives us
Uh,
the multiple features like inbuilt pipe,
mm,
directives, and component and some routing things.
mm.
And so, yeah,
Anyone else like to try? Amruta? Ba- Fundamentals of Angular framework. How you would answer?
Yeah, basically, fundamental of Angular is like components, directives.
Right. So see,
Yeah.
it's a very easy question. Fundamentals are nothing but what are the major features of Angulars are there? Component, module, right? Routing, directives, pipes, services. Getting it? These are nothing but your basic fundamentals of your Angular. If interviewer is asking ki what are the basic fundamentals, simply list it down. Na? For you, let's say major topics what you have in Angular. What are the major topics you have? You just have to list it them. If because this is normally your first or second question. If here you are not able to give all the list, and again, likewise, you will only degrade your confidence. Okay. So basic fundamental, what are the major features of Angular we have? Just list it down. You don't have to explain it. If he's asking, list it down, yeah, that's it. You don't need to explain everything. Okay. What are directives? Imtiaz? Yeah, Ashutosh, go ahead.
Yeah, so Chetan, does it contain signals, RxJS?
Yeah, but RxJS is the third party library, but Signal
Uh,
you can include now,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
HTTP client also you can say to make API call, we are not depending on the fetch. We have HTTP client. What
Okay.
major concepts are there? Those are nothing but your basic fundamentals, building
Okay.
blocks. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Directive. What are directives? Hmm.
Sir, can I give answer for this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, directive is a code building block of your application. Basically, we use directive to change the behavior of DOM content. We have
Mhm.
a three type of directive, sir, like a structure directive, attribute directive, and custom directive, sir. In
Okay.
a structure directive, we have three things: ng4, ngif, and ng switch. And
Mhm.
component itself also is a directive. We
Mhm.
have a attribute directive ng style or ng style or ng class. Ng style we use to add the dynamic style, and
Mhm.
ng class we use to add dynamic class, sir.
Okay. This is everything what you should tell when someone is asking you directive. Okay. I will rephrase the same answer. Directives allows you to add extra behavior to the element or the component instance. We have multiple types of directive like structural directive. These are the directive which are responsible to change the structure of the DOM, ngif, ng for, ng switch. Attribute directive. These are the directive which are responsible to add extra behavior to the existing element. They don't change the structure. Ng class, ng style. They can add a dynamic class or dynamic CSS. We can create our own directives also as per requirement by using custom directive, ng generate directive and directive name. Again, component is also kind of a directive, but with a template. So this is everything what you should explain when it comes to directive. No need to explain custom directive example. If he specifically asks, then you can explain it. Getting it? What he
Okay,
has
sir.
asked, just provide that only. He
Okay,
will
sir.
ask, yeah. have you created any custom directive? Then you can go ahead and explain the example, whatever you have it ready. Clear, everyone?
Sir, can you mention the examples? Actually, today I faced the same question, but they are asking for the real-time example.
So real
Yeah,
time,
sir.
like
Sir, can
focus
I
in
give an
directive.
example, sir?
Wait.
Suppose, sir.
I'm just wait.
Okay, sir. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
So focus in, let's say you have a big form. Inside your form, first three fields are by default. You are setting some value by default. Fourth element is like you are going to enter the value from the fourth element. So you can create a focus in directive, and that focus in directive, you can add it on the fourth element. So when your component load, that element will be focused in. Role-based directive. According to the role, you have to sometimes enable, disable, hide, and show. Role-based directive. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. For everyone, those who are giving intro, and if your experience is more than 3 years, custom pipe, custom directive, you should have proper example ready to explain. Clear? Anyone having any doubt? Okay. Now, what is routing in Angular? Who are else giving interviews? Yeah, Brijesh, go ahead.
Routing the navigation between pages where we navigate to one page to another page.
Okay. That's it. Anyone else
Yes.
like to try?
Angular application is a single page application. So from switch from one view to another view, we use the routing, and for that we use the Angular router and router outlet. And to define the links, we use router link.
To define the
Means
what is
links
router link?
path.
So that we called as a route, no?
Yes.
Right. Anyone else like to try?
Yes,
Still,
sir.
Priyanka, your answer was
Can I
not
give,
that
sir?
well. Yeah, I'm just.
Sir, as we know, Angular is a single page application. So we have to achieve a multi-page navigation. So we have to use a routing, sir. Like one page to another page. When we have to navigate, then we will use now routing, sir.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So see, Angular is a single page application, and to achieve page-based navigation from one component, you are able to navigate to another component. We use routing. Routing is by default included in the Angular project. We have to create the routes. The component which you are going to access with the route, we create the route in app.route.ts. Then for navigation, we have certain directives. Router outlet is a directive which we keep into the navbar. Wherever you have navbar, after navbar, you will keep router outlet. Whatever the activated route is there, that component will load into that router outlet. For navigation, we have router link. Again, by creating a service, by injecting a service router, we can navigate by navigate or navigate by URL also. Right? So this is everything. We can, while navigation, you can pass the query parameter also. So you can create parameterized route. We have wildcard route, default route also. So this is everything what you have in routing. Whatever you are comfortable, just answer that. No need to explain wildcard route and default route in a first go, or even query parameter routing also. Routing, as Angular is a single page application, with the help of routing, we achieve multiple page-based navigation. In route.ts, we create route. That's it. And you can implement, you can explain router outlet, the purpose of router outlet. Okay. Keep your answer straight to the point. Don't try to elaborate so much. Basic question, you should not elaborate. No need of explanation. Just one line answer is enough. Okay. Fine. What are pipes? What is the use of pipes?
Pipes can be modify or transform any data, any set of data. And there are two types of pipe, pure pipe and impure pipes.
Okay. There are some default pipes also. If we have a requirement, we can create our own custom pipes also. Correct? Okay. So pipes are used to transform the data. There are some default pipe provided by Angular already. lowercase, uppercase, JSON pipe, date pipe. You can pass parameter to the pipe also. If you have a certain requirement, we can create our custom pipes also as per our requirement, right? We have two types of pipe, pure and impure. Pure pipe will execute only if the data or the parameter changes, but impure pipe will change. Impure pipe will execute for every change detection. Doesn't matter data or parameter changes or not. This is everything what you should explain it into the pipe. No, if he asks, have you created a custom pipe? Then have one example ready for the custom pipe. Clear? Clear all? Okay. Now let's say sometimes they will ask you, they won't ask you how do you create parameterized route. They will say, they will put out a scenario that you have two components. One is the list where you have a table. Another is a form. Okay. You have two different components. In one component, you have list. In another component, you have form. Now in the table, you have edit button. On click of edit, you want to navigate to the form component and your data should populate. So how you will achieve this? Nikita, Aditya, wrong.
We need to patch the values to form, no?
Listen to my question again. We have two different components. In one component, we have table that is having a route. Another component, we have a form that is having another route. Now I'm saying in the list component, we have a table. On click of edit, you have to navigate to that component, and what record you open, that data should populate over there.
So can in navigate router.navigate we can pass ID for that component and
Right.
fetch the data there and patch to that form.
Right. So this involves, the question is actually, how do you navigate with the query parameter? Sometimes they will put the scenario, as I'm saying, if your experience is more than 3 to 4 years, they won't directly ask you question, how to create a parameterized route. How do you navigate with the parameter? They will put out the scenario, right? So listen to the question, how he is laying out the scenario. Okay. Sometimes it is okay that you might misunderstood. Then sometimes he will say, no, not like that. Then immediately jump to a separate solution. Okay. So if you have two components, list is into one component and form is into another component. So on click of edit, I need to navigate to that component, but which record I'm editing, that also I need to pass. So I will navigate along with the query parameter. So in the route, that form component should accept a parameter. While navigation, either you use navigate method or navigate by URL, but you have to pass the parameter. And over there, how do you listen to the data? How do you read the query parameter data?
Using activated routes.
Activated route.params.subscribe. That's how you read the query parameter data. Then you make API call, get employee by employee ID, and you get the data and you initialize the form. Clear? Like this, they will put out the scenario. Okay. Difference between template and the reactive form.
If our form is small and there is not what can I say, validations are simple, then we can use template driven form. If our form is large and validations are tough, then we can use reactive form. In template driven form, all the validations are present in HTML file, but in reactive form, all the validations are present in TS file.
Okay. Do we have something like that we can do in template form and we cannot do in reactive or vice versa?
Mm.
Do we have
Yes,
something like
actually, in the reactive form, we can create the custom validation and dynamic validation also.
so in template we cannot do that?
Custom async validation, I think.
But means apart
Not
from
sure.
required mean length pattern, you are saying that you will create your own validation like password and confirm password. Both the fields should match. That is the requirement of your custom validator, correct?
Yes.
So can I not create the same thing in Can I not achieve the same thing in template form?
Mm, no,
Obviously, I
guess.
can achieve. I
Okay.
will write the custom code. I will create a function which will check the true value and we will return true or false. Correct? In your custom validator also, you are going to do the same thing. Na? You will pass to control and you will check the value.
Yes.
Correct?
Async validator.
Still, let
Yeah,
it be
okay.
async or but you
Okay.
can achieve the same thing in template also. But there is in reactive form, we have a proper way of doing that. That standard is already defined. But in template form, you will do something like that. Other person might do something else. Custom code. We don't have a definite way of creating that. Okay.
Okay.
So sometimes they will ask you question, yeah, if we have template form, reactive form, signal based form. So do we have something which we can achieve over here and which we cannot achieve? We don't have something like that. Okay. Reactive form has by default so many functionality included already. But if you want, form array, one to many entities, we can do the same thing in your template also. But manually custom, you write the code. Okay. But there, just by using form.value, you will get whole one to many relationship data. But here you have to write a custom logic to get that kind of data. Clear?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Now, next question will be like signal and RxJS. Does signal is going to replace RxJS? Many of you might have faced this question. Is signal going to replace RxJS?
No, it won't replace RXJS.
Right? It won't replace. RxJS is something different. Signal is also something different. Yeah, both are reactive. Signal is also allows us to achieve reactivity and RxJS also allows the same. But both has a different use case. Signal has various types of signal only. It doesn't allow you to modify the stream, modify the data on some operation, right? But RxJS has so many things. Okay. In signal, we don't have a way where you can group multiple signal. RxJS has that. We have to use both. Okay. Be strong to your answer. Ki no, signal is not going to replace RxJS. Yeah, both provides the way of doing reactive code, but both are needed. Okay. What are the types of signals we have?
Three signals, right? Readable signals, writable signal, linked signal.
What else? I have told this multiple times.
Input, output, view
Input,
child.
output, view child, view children, content children.
Computed
These are
signal.
nothing but computed. See, read only, writable, computed, linked, input, output, view child, view children, content children. All these are types of signal. Is effect a type of signal? Some people note that effect is also a type of signal.
No, sir.
What is the purpose of effect?
Using effect, we can change the value of signal. Like if we need to combine two or more signal, then we use effect.
No, sir. If in the effect
No.
we are using for side effect and for listening the signal effect.
Okay, this is very technical definition. Anyone like to give an answer? Effect.
So
How you will?
effects only change when the change signal will be changed. Means
Which
the which
signal?
signal we change into the effect. So
Which
derived
signal?
state.
Take your time, answer it properly.
Effect will only loads when the signal gets changed,
Which signal will change?
which we use into the effect.
Okay.
I'm not getting the proper definition, but
Keep it in a simple way now. Provide it with an example. Let's say you have first name, middle name, last name. You have three signal. And now you want to generate whenever any of these three value get changed, you want to write some code. So that you put it into your use effect. Effect. So effect will execute inside the effect if you are using three signal. If any of the signal value get changed, your effect will again execute. Getting it? Let's say you have a table. Above the table, you have search filter. Three, let's say from date, to date, and category dropdown is there. If any of the filter get changed, you need to trigger an API call. So that API call, you will put it into your effect. And in that effect, you will put you will use all these three signal. So if any of the signal get changed, your effect will again execute. Side effect. Okay, extra code you need to write. In subject, behavior subject. Whenever subject value get changed, you get the subscribe. Same like that. Here, any signal value get changed, but not any. Inside effect, if you are using any signal, let's say 3 signals you are using inside your effect. If one of the signal value get changed, your effect will again trigger. It's an automatic function which will trigger on the value change of the signal what you are using inside of it. Clear? We will do one session dedicated for signal where from basic to everything we will cover. Okay. Now, what is the use of RxJS in Angular? What RxJS provides us when we use that in Angular?
Whenever we want to perform asynchronous operations, then we will do it.
Right? Asynchronous, reactive code. Okay. Reactive. RxJS offers reactive code. Means asynchronous nothing, but in a JavaScript term, you will call it as asynchronous, but in RxJS term, it is reactive. What type of data we store in RxJS? What do we call that? There is a particular. In observable, what kind of a data you store? We store data into observable. What do we call that? One technique. Stream. You created a subject and or as behavior subject or observable, you store some data into that. So we call it as a stream of data. Okay. So if you know RxJS properly, all the concepts are clear. So instead of just saying the data, use stream of data. Okay. Difference between observable and the promise.
Hi, sir. Actually, I got one question today, which is they are asking for the RxJS, which we use into the search filter. So I explain, and I also explain the switch map, but they are asking a cross question like, can we use the combined latest instead of the switch?
Yeah. Combine latest all also you can use. But combine latest has a different use case. Switch case is different. What is the purpose of switch case?
It's cancels the previous
Okay.
observable and subscribe to the new API.
Share my screen. So this type of scenario-based question they will ask. Say here you have a table. Above table, you have some filter. One filter, second filter, third filter, fourth filter. Now, if any of the filter value get changed, let's say you have an API which gets you filter data. Okay, let's say from date, to date, category, something else is there. 4 filters are there above the table. Now, if any of the filter value get changed, you need to make an API call. So from RxJS, what you will use it over here? I don't have a search button. Just normal 4 input box are there. If any of the value get changed, I need to trigger an API call. From RxJS, what you will use? So that combined latest is there. So you will create 4 form control, 1, 2, 3, or you create a form group and add 4 controls over here. Then you will bind it over here. So value changes of all the 4 control, you will combine into combined latest. If any of the value changes get triggered, means any of the value get changed from this text box, your subscribe will execute. But inside value changes, combined latest, you have to still use switch map because combined latest is to any of the value get changed, you have to trigger something. But let's say you change first text box, API call is in progress. Immediately you change the second one. So first call has to cancel, na? So for that we need switch case. Correct, Priyanka? Switch case is going to be there.
Yes, got it.
But combined latest is a different use case. Combined latest is not a replacement of switch case. Okay. Got it? Fine. Observable versus promise. What are the differences we have?
Observable emits the stream of data, means the multiple outputs, and promises gives the single output. Means, we need to subscribe the observables, but we cannot need to subscribe the promises.
But what do we
Promises
call that?
gives the
What is that?
Lazy.
Eager lazy, sir. We can
yes.
say eager lazy.
So
Promises are eager and observables are lazy.
are lazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
And
promises will emit only single value at a time. Observable emit multiple value over multiple time.
Stream of
Example
data,
will be
sir.
subject and behavior subject. You can emit multiple stream of data. Multiple data you can emit multiple time. Okay. But we cannot achieve something in case of promise. Clear? Subject versus behavior subject.
In case of subject, like once I have subscribed, after the value change, I won't get the previous value, but behavior subject will have the previous value as well when I'm subscribing to that. So that is the major difference.
Behavior subject can be initialized with the initial value, whereas subject not.
And behavior subject returns the latest value.
Someone else?
If
Yes, sir.
subject gives only next value. Means if you have say first name of some profile, and you are giving that, and then you are subscribing it, then that subscribe will not have that value unless you give that next. Then it will take that first name. Say first initially it is A. After subscribing, it will not give that value, and when you are giving that name equal to B, then that subject subscriber will give that A value. That is subject, and behavior subject will give that latest value and initial value. That is the major difference.
Yeah, you have this in clear in your mind.
Yes.
Now I can understand you know the concept.
Yeah.
But if interviewer concepts are not clear, he might not understood your answer.
Acha. Okay.
Getting it?
Yes.
You have to anticipate him also, na?
Yeah. Okay.
Let's say what you are telling, he is not able to understand. He might consider it wrong. Okay. So subject versus behavior. Subject, we cannot initialize the value. Behavior subject, we can initialize the value. That is your first difference. Subject only emits a current value. Subject receiver can only get the current value. But behavior subject allows you to get the previous value and the current value also. How do you explain this now? Let's say you have a navbar. Inside a navbar, you have a role dropdown. And in every component, you are listening to the roles, switch role. Okay. So at the moment, you changed something from you emitted a subject value. And if the component is loaded at that time, that subject value, it will be able to listen. Subscribe will execute. But let's say you emitted a value in subject, and after some time your component loads, that won't be able to get the value because that component was not present at the moment when your value was emitted. But if it was a subject, if you emitted a value subject, component was not present at the moment, after some time it loaded, still it will be able to get the value. Previous value it was able to get it. This is how you have to explain. You understood, Amruta, now what I said?
Yes. Yeah.
Any person will understand this. So that's what I'm saying. If it is very straightforward question, what is? One line answer, let it be. But if it is something like this, where you need to do the explanation, try to relate with your project use cases. Okay. Even though he doesn't know it properly, he will understand something from you also. Okay. Because we are answering so that he can understand. We are not answering so that you can only understand. You know the concept, it's okay. You already know it, but you have to explain him. Okay. Clear? And sometimes you have to judge the interviewer also. How much interviewer knowledge is. Because once you are based on his question also, you will get to know how much knowledge he has, what type of a question he is asking. Nowadays, so many people will just Google and yeah, what is this? What is this? They will read it out. You'd have to pay attention to that. He's a senior experienced person or he's just having 3 to 4 years of experience. People. If you are able to identify that, you have to change your answer also like that. If you are giving more technical, he might consider it as a wrong because he doesn't know that. Okay. Fine. Interceptor.
Yeah, fine.
What are interceptors used for?
So interceptors then work as a middleware between the any request we are getting and for the response side.
So what we do with interceptor in Angular?
Like we are using the HTTP client connecting the APIs.
No, let's say I don't implement the
We
interceptors. I can
modify
make the API call.
request. Yeah, request. We can modify request. Yeah.
Okay.
Global error handling.
Error handling also.
Yeah.
See,
Yes.
his answer was correct. That was a theoretical bookish definition. Yeah, it's a middleware. I think you are backend person, right, Jitendra?
Oh, I am full stack.
Right. So
Full
middleware
stack.
you know from the .NET, so you will answer like that. That's
Yeah,
correct.
right.
But you have to explain the use case also, na? In Angular, what do we achieve with that?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Right.
So interceptor allows you to monitor all the outgoing request and incoming responses. It sits between your Angular application and your backend application. All the API calls will happen through the interceptor if you implemented it and register it into your app config. Then what you can use, let's say your request is going, you are making an API call. You can add custom headers. Normally we pass JWT token, some key value pair data, custom headers. Once you get the response, you can do the error handling. Sometimes you have to format the data before sending it back to the service and the component. So modifying the stream of data, what you get, modifying the API data, that also you can do in the interceptor. Okay. Mocking, if your API is not ready. So we do the mock. Yes.
Also, we can implement that retry.
Retry also.
Yeah.
RXJS operator retry is there. The API call made, but at that time API sum was down. You want to try 2 or 3 times. So retry is there. So instead of writing that retry everywhere, you write that into your interceptor. Okay. Fine. What is custom directive? What are the types or how do you create a custom directive? How you will explain this? When you will go for a custom directive?
So maybe we can able to use it for multiple places, right? So for usability purposes, we can create a custom directive.
Okay. But we can do component also. Then why custom directive?
If reusable code we want, then
Yeah, so that is what I said, na? Component is also achieving that.
Okay.
So why custom directive? See, when you will go for a reusable component?
If that functionality we need in multiple places, so we go with
Not just functionality, it involves some UI also.
Okay.
Let's say you have table, card, some UI is there, and with that UI you have some functionality. And that UI plus coding, you are going to need it multiple places. So you move that UI plus your coding part into a reusable component. And wherever you need that, you use it over there. Okay. Now, custom directive, do we have UI to the custom directive first of all? No. We can create, but we normally don't have UI. Okay. Let's say you have a text box and you want to enable or disable that according to some condition. Let's say role based. Let's say logged in role is guest. You want to disable all the text box. If the logged in role is admin, you want to enable it. So instead of writing that disable, enable logic at everywhere, you can move that code to your directive. That if logged in role is guessed, you have to disable the element where you are going to apply that directive. Element rep, add property, display true, something. Getting it? Attribute. So instead of writing that, on every element, square bracket, disable, condition, instead of doing that in every places, you are moving that logic into your custom directive and you adding that over there. Okay. So reusability, but it doesn't actually involve the UI. You add that directive onto the different elements. Reusable component, when you have some UI and some functionality, that is your reusable. Okay. Can we create HTML from the custom directive now? Can I create in HTML from the custom directive?
No, we can't actually.
Anyone else? Can we create HTML from the custom directive?
Yes, we can create
How?
that. We getting that component reference, then using that
How?
element ref and
Element ref gives you the
okay,
access
DOM
of that
access.
element,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
But how
yes.
you will create the new HTML? As we say, na, ki custom directive, only component is a directive with the HTML, right?
Yes.
But my question is, can we create HTML in a custom directive?
Yes, we can create, but how it's
How?
I don't know.
Renderer. We have renderer too, na? By renderer
Yeah.
too, you can create HTML, and that HTML, tooltip you can create, and that HTML you can inject into the element where you have added that directive. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
Like
Satish,
we can
okay?
able to create a new HTML
Yes.
file, Chetan, like and then
Not
how we
HTML
can
file, document.create element.
Directly
okay.
dynamically
Dynamic
we can create.
HTML element, not HTML file. There itself, JavaScript, how do you create element? That you can do it in your custom directive. Document.create
Okay,
H1.
I haven't
text.
used this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Renderer too. That is the purpose of renderer too. Okay.
Okay.
What are host listeners? Chintan. What are host listeners? Or Preeti, Shubhangi. You guys are silent.
It is used to listen events on host element.
All right. Host listener allows you to listen to the events happening onto the host element. Let's say you have created a custom directive where you are adding that directive. Let's say you created a highlight directive and that directive you are adding onto the button. So whenever you hover on that button and if you have written that host listener will trigger. Can I write host listener into normal component as well? Can I write host listener into normal component?
Yes, we can.
Okay, we can. It's
Yes.
not key host listener. You can only write into the directive, custom directive. You can write it into component as well. What are the life cycle of custom directives? What are the life cycle events of custom directive?
It's the same as the components.
Same, because component is nothing but a directive. No? So what life cycle component has, that is nothing but coming from directive only. Okay. So ng on changes, ng on init, all the thing you can write in your custom directives also.
So I have the one question, like if they ask like what are the life cycle events, so which life cycle event we should mention, like all or
You have to list everything. Ng on changes, ng on init, ng after what is that? Ng do check, ng after wind, ng after view check, ng content, ng after content check, and ng try. You have to list them out, everything.
Okay.
Then explain 2, 3 mostly use. Ng on init, ng do check, ng on changes, ng on unit, ng after unit, and ng destroy. These 4 you have to explain properly because these are the mostly used. Okay.
But
Clear all?
Chetan, we don't have NG after we check render. We are not using those things in custom directive, right? So like we
can
can
use.
able to use it, or
Yeah, we can use all the directives you can use. Okay.
but like
in case of custom
how it will
directive,
communicate with the parent to child, those things we are having, right? But in directive, like
NG on changes you won't be able to use now, because you know in that also you can see.
And NG
You can
check
pass the
also,
data,
like
na? Yeah, you can pass it.
At the rate
Because
input and
input output is there, no? On directive also you can pass the data.
okay, it's just like in the directive we need to import that, and then we can able to use those in components.
Same
like,
way how
but,
you pass it to the component, same way over there.
okay, but like we have view child also, right? So from the parent component we are using child, right? Then how we can
That
use
is different.
that?
Is
Okay.
different. View child is something different.
Okay, yeah, that's like
We are actually creating the instance of that class, and you are accessing the
Yes.
whatever the fields are there. Okay. But if that
Got
component is loaded, then only you get the object. Okay. Otherwise, it will be undefined.
Okay. Yeah.
Fine. Okay. So I have another meeting plan.